Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Giribaradhari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Gopi Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Gopi Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Giribaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Raja Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nita go Haribo 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 Nita go Haribo Jaya Vishnupada Paramahasa Pariyapṛcchat Stotra Srimad Hesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jaya Vishnupada Paramahasa Pariyapṛcchat Stotra Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Granthara Ashrama Bhagavatam Ki Sanaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Gopi Manande. All glory to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru Gauranga Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Narayana namaskritya Narayana chaiva narottamam Devam sarasatim vyasam Tato jaya mudiraye Nasa prayesha bhadresu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttamas loke Bhakti bhavati nastiki Vedaramane chaiva purane bharate tata hado adyancha madhe chahari sabhakta giyati Mokam karoti vācālam phangu lankarate grihi Ekipātaham vande se gurudinatarine paramānnena madhava Dhamma prajita katavota paramānnena śramam Vedam vastavam atavaslu shvadan tapatayo mulana Sima bhagavate mahamane kitanki va para Isvara sayorudi Abharudyate trakitibhita kesanam Yasyava yasyamana yan Krishna paramapurushe bhakti uttapade punsam sukhamo abhayapaha Atoyam brahmasutranam bharatata vinaya Gayati bhasa ruposha vidata paribhimita Savavedeti asanam saram saram paribhimita Savabedam dam sarame Sri Bhagavatam ishyati Tarashamita syati ptasya Nayatya sharati kuche Namamu Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhatale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Synonyms Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nibhise Sashinvadi Pashtadishtarine Vanchakapatrubhyasya Kripasinibhyo Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, how are you? Yeah. So, I thank everyone for being at this morning's Bhagavatam class. And also those who are watching from this Vrindavan TV, ISKCON Vrindavan TV. So the topic now, the chapter of Uddhava visits Vrindavan. So we are in chapter 46 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto Bhagavatam. So we are at chapter 46. So this chapter and the next chapter, 46 and 47, these are very, very two special chapters whereby the Uddhava, who is very, very dear devotee of Lord Krishna, is being sent to Vrindavan to just to tell the Brijavasi that Krishna is coming back. Because when Krishna left Vrindavan, when Akrura was taking Krishna out of Vrindavan, because there was supposed to be some wrestling match in Mathura, according to the invitation of Kamsa. And of course, Krishna leaving Vrindavan even for one moment is a big thing. Just for one moment of living Vrindavan, not to talk of going to Mathura, have to fight with many wrestlers, and so many duties are supposed to be there in Mathura. But Krishna told the Brijavasi that I will be back. So that's the promise that Krishna gave. Because the moment Krishna left Vrindavan, when he left, from that moment on, all the activities of Vrindavan just stopped. All the activities stopped. The cow herders, the gopis, making the cows, or the cowherd boy is taking the cows to the forest, or Mother Yashoda churning butter, everything just stopped. Everything stopped. And everyone was simply looking forward towards the path of Mathura and expecting Krishna to come back. Everybody was just looking at the path. That's what they are doing day in, after every moment they are looking. They stop eating. They stop all the bodily functions. Many could have just give up their body because Krishna is there. Because Krishna is the source of life. Krishna is the only source of life. Krishna is life. And if there is no Krishna, what is the meaning of life? In the book Krishna Vijay by Gunaraj Khan, he had made an expression, Krishna paramānnena, that Krishna is my life, is my life here. So when Mahaprabhu, he was talking with the inhabitants of Kulinagram, who were the descendants of Gunaraj Khan. And because Mahaprabhu, he had given these inhabitants of Kulinagram, like Satyaraj Khan and all that, given them a specific duty that every year they should come to Jagannath Puri and give and bring Jagannath rope, the rope for taking Jagannath on the Rath Yatra. So he had given them this specific duty. Every year you have to come and bring the rope for Jagannath, the Rath Yatra. And then Mahaprabhu expressed this point which Gunaraj Khan made, that Krishna paramānnena, that Krishna is my life here. So Mahaprabhu said that this statement of Gunaraj Khan, he said, by this statement, I'm eternally indebted to the descendant of Gunaraj Khan. By this statement, I'm eternally indebted to the descendant of Gunaraj Khan. Because Krishna is the life of all the devotees. You know, in his song by Bhakti Thakur, he said, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pram. That Krishna is everything, is my mother, is the father, is my life. So when Krishna is not in Vrindavan, the gopi, everything just stop. You know, they stop eating, they stop drinking water, everything. But somehow they were maintaining their life here. They were maintaining their life here because of the promise that Krishna made, that I will be back. He said, I'm coming back. This is their promise that Krishna made. So therefore, the Brajavasi, they were sustaining their life only with this promise only. So Krishna, knowing that the Brajavasis, they are feeling so much separation from him, because it's not in Vrindavan, and he had made a promise to them that he's coming. But however, it so happened that after the killing of Kamsa, now Krishna felt that he had to fulfill some obligations in Mathura, and especially to give consolation to Vasudeva and Devaki, who had been in the prison house of Kamsa for a long period of time. You know, they were so much tormented, their 6 children were killed, so many things like that. So Krishna, he needed to give a consolation, some kind of nourishment to Vasudeva, Devaki, to Maharaj Ugrasena. So because Krishna felt he needed to feel that fulfillment, so therefore he did not immediately go back to Vrindavan. He didn't go. Yeah, we're going to go to the verse. Yeah, this is just introduction. It's a very important topic. This is Uddhava going to be. So we have to know who is Uddhava. So so it's reminding that we have to chant the verse. So we should chant the verse first, then I can continue the. Okay. All right. So Because what happened is that there is about 5 verses, and each of those verses, I have to say something for each of the verses. So let's just finish. I just finished. I'm going to get to the verse very soon. So Krishna had to call up Uddhava, because Uddhava is a very, very dear devotee of Lord Krishna, of Krishna. And Krishna was trying to find out who is that most competent person who can really go to Vrindavan and give the consolation to the Brajavasi. Who is that most perfect person, the most competent person? And that person is none other than Uddhava. That Krishna feels that he is the most competent person that he can send to Vrindavan. So when Krishna was talking to Uddhava, so Krishna is telling Uddhava that he said, this is from he said, Nathatame priyatama atma yoninan sankara nacha sankashnina sri naivatma chayata bhavam. So Krishna is talking to Uddhava. He said, no one is dear to me as you, O Uddhava. Not my son Brahma, not Shiva, who was born out of my very body, not my brother Sankarshan, Sankarshan is Balaram, not Lakshmi, my consort, who dwells eternally on my chest. Even my own body is not as dear to me as you are. This is Krishna speaking. That yes, Uddhava, you are the dearest to me. So Krishna is about to send Uddhava to Vrindavan. So now let's just read to this verse, and from there I will begin to speak. This is today we are from 15 to 19. Okay. So text number 19. No, 15. Okay, text number 15. So we have the verse on the board. Bhojitam paramānnena saṁviṣṭaṁ kaśipau sukham gata-śramaṁ paryapṛcchat pāda-saṁvāhanādibhiḥ. Translation and short purport by Śrīla Prabhupada disciple. After Uddhava had eaten first-class food, being seated comfortably on a bed, and being relieved of his fatigue by foot massage and other means, Nanda inquired from him as follows. Purport. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī mentions that Nanda had a servant massage Uddhava's feet. Since Uddhava was Nanda's nephew, so Uddhava, of course, is, as I said before, is a very, very special person. Actually, the name Uddhava means someone who brings joy, who brings festival, which means just by saying Uddhava, everyone becomes very joyful. And of course, Uddhava is very, very much prominent in many, many of the Puranic narrations, and also in many, many of the writings of the Gosvāmī, specifically the Bhagavad-Gita of Śrīla Sanatana Gosvāmī, whereby when Gopakuma, when he was in the spiritual world, and he had gone to Dwarka because he wanted to meet Krishna. And Gopakuma, even though he was there in Dwarka, but even though he saw Krishna, it was Krishna, but he was feeling not too much satisfied. So Uddhava, and there's a conversation between Uddhava and Narada Muni. The conversation was there between them, explaining the nature of love of Krishna. Explaining the nature of love of Krishna. So Uddhava is such a person, and of course, it's, let's say, the material world is qualification being that it's Krishna's cousin brother. It's Krishna's cousin brother because he was the Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, they were cousin, and Nanda Maharaj's father, his name was Pajanya Maharaj, and Vasudev's father, his name is Surasen. So both Pajanya and Surasen, they were brothers because they were born by the same father, Devamida. So that's the relation between Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev. They are both brothers technically. So Krishna and Uddhava, they were because the Vasudev's brother, Uddhava is the son of the Vasudev's brother. So let's say the familiar relation is there, but at the same time, Uddhava is very dear devotee of Krishna. And he plays so many roles. He's the counselor, the messenger, so many roles the Pandava and the Uddhava plays for Krishna. As a matter of fact, in Dwarka, Krishna will not make any decision without Uddhava. He will always ask Uddhava, what to do, Now, another special qualification of Uddhava is that Uddhava, being the perfect devotee of Krishna, he has the same identical form as Krishna. He has the same identity. When you see Uddhava, you will think this is Krishna. Same identical form as Krishna. Same form. So when Uddhava came to Vrindavan, everyone became very joyful. Everyone became very better. Oh, first of all, they thought that Krishna had come back to Vrindavan. But it was, Krishna's the devotee, Uddhava, who had come. So when Uddhava, when he went to the house of Nanda Maharaj, so Nanda Maharaj was very happy to receive Uddhava. Now, Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī is explaining in the Krama-sandarbha that he was explaining about the different characteristics of the devotees who have Krishna prema, who have the love of Krishna. He was describing the different categories or the bhojitaṁs, the nature of their love for Krishna. So obviously, some of them are not the same. So Jiva Goswami is explaining there's a Krishna prema with predominance of longing, whereby the one's always hankering. Oh, Krishna, where are you? Where is Krishna? Even though sometimes when Krishna is with you, still the longing is still there. You still feel that maybe Krishna is not here. And you find that every morning when Krishna will get ready to go to take the cows to the forest, the Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, there could not be a Krishna separation. Mother Yashoda will say that, Krishna, why are you going to the forest? Why are you taking the cows? You don't have to go take the cows to the forest. So many servants are there, You no need to take the cows to the forest. But still, Krishna will always say that we are cowhead men. It's our duty to nourish the cows, to take the cows to the forest. And when Krishna is going to the forest with all his friends, Mother Yashoda will follow him. We follow him at a great distance. At a great distance, we follow Krishna. So until Krishna had to repeatedly say, Mother, go back. I'm just going for a few hours, and I'll be back very soon. Back to the house. But with great longings, repeatedly, Mother Yashoda, we try to go back to the Nanda Baba, and then again she will again turn back to again say Krishna, and then she will tell the Krishna's friend. So first she will tell Balaram that Balaram, look nicely after your brother. Then he will tell Subal, you stay in front of Krishna. Sridham, you stay behind Krishna. Madhubanga, you stay on the other side of Krishna. So she will instructing different colored boys that they should all surround Krishna on all sides, because as they are going to the forest. And then with a great difficulty, she will return to back to the Nandagram with great difficulty. Great longing is there. So now there's another category of Krishna friend, or those who have loved Krishna. That's we call the prema with predominance of familiarity. The carhead boys who always play with Krishna, they are Krishna's friend. So for them, actually, they have a vision of Krishna, that Krishna is always with them. Even though they are playing in the forest, Krishna is not there, but to them it's like Krishna is just nearby, so they are never really too much of feel so much separation from Krishna. And then the cows, who also the love of Krishna, so their separation, they don't feel so much of separation from Krishna, because they know that Krishna is always there. He's always there calling them and all that. But the one who have the always longing for Krishna is the Krishna spirit, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, and the gopis. So the message of which Uddhava is bringing to Vrindavan, this is actually the message is specifically meant for Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, and the gopis. Now, at the beginning of this chapter, it mentions how that Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati Shishya. And Brihaspati is the guru of the demigod. He's the one that gives all the knowledge to the guru. He's called a guru. He's the guru of the demigods. There is the temple in Kerala called Guruvayur. So this temple is a temple of Krishna, which is actually established by Brihaspati and Vayu. So therefore the temple is called the Guruvayur temple. Very beautiful form of Krishna is there. So Brihaspati, who is the guru of the demigods, but the Uddhava, he received his knowledge from Brihaspati. Now, what kind of knowledge he received? He got all kind of the Vedic knowledge, the knowledge related to Gyan, Karma, everything he received. But he had not received knowledge concerning love of God, Prem Bhakti. He has not received that knowledge. So, and Krishna being very, very kind, is Bhakti Vatsalya, saying that he is their devotee, Uddhava is not, he hasn't got his knowledge of the love of me. So therefore, and Krishna, the best guru, to receive this love, this knowledge of love of God, Prem Bhakti, is the best gurus are the Bhajabasi. They are the one, because they are the one that actually shows how to love Krishna. In his song, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he said, Parakya bhavija paryapṛcchat, the parakya, the knowledge of, the separation of Krishna, anything based with Krishna, this knowledge is solely with the Brajabasis. They show him by the nature of their love. So therefore Krishna intentionally sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to have this understanding. And he sent Uddhava to Vrindavan on the plea of go to Vrindavan and give message to Brajabasi and give them consolation, so that they can have their feelings of separation from me can be reduced. You give them my consolation, my message. So Uddhava came to Vrindavan. At the moment he arrived, Nanda Maharaj was very, very happy. Was very, very happy. So he received, because seeing Uddhava, Nanda Maharaj became very joyful. He said, oh, the son of Vasudeva has come, indicating to be Krishna. But when he saw Uddhava, so he became very happy. He embraced Uddhava, embraced him, and then make this agya, have his Uddhava's feet washed. He received him very, very nicely. And then, as mentioned in this verse, that Uddhava was then fed first-class preparations, first-class food. And that was the only time that the cooking was made in the house of Nanda Maharaj. This is the only, because when Krishna left, there was no more cooking. There was no more cooking done in the house. Because if there's a cooking, who's going to eat it? Krishna is not there to eat it. Because Yashoda Maya, she only cooked food only for Krishna to eat. If Krishna is not going to eat, there's no purpose of cooking. But this particular instance, cooking was made. Now, it mentioned that it was a Brahman who know that that Uddhava is coming to the house of Nanda Maharaj. So therefore, the cooking was done, first-class cooking, and then Uddhava was fed with his food, with this first-class cooking. And then mentioned that after Uddhava, he was fed the food, then he had his foot was massaged. He had the foot massage, but this massage was done by a servant, not by Nanda Maharaj, because Uddhava is inferior to Nanda Maharaj. So this is being explained in this verse. So in the next verse, he says, Kachi anga mahabhaga. Okay, let's all read it together. Kachi anga mahabhaga sakana suranandana aste kushaleya padyahi yokta mukta surit brata. So Nanda Maharaj is asking, my dear most fortunate one, does the son of Sura fare well? Sura fare well. In this case, this is indicating Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Sura, which is the son of Sura, the son of Surasen. Does the son of Sura fare well, now that he's free and has rejoiced his children and has rejoined his children and other relatives? So now, we should not confuse that is asking for Nanda Maharaj first. He did not first ask about Krishna, because it's too much for him, too much of intensity of separation is there for him. First of all, he first asked about Vasudeva, if he's faring well, especially since he had just been released from prison. And he said that is his son well? He said, how's the son? Now, this son does not mean Krishna, because technically he said, Krishna is the son of Devaki, is the son of Vasudeva. But Krishna is the son of Nanda, and Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj, is Nanda. So this particular word is actually indicating to Balaram, because Balaram is the son of Vasudeva and Rohini. So that's technically established. Now, when Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī, when he was in Puri, So Rupa Goswami was going to Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he was going to Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in one village called Satyabhamapur. This village is not far from Jagannapuri. And in that village, when Rupa Goswami was taking rest at night, he had a dream. And in that dream, Satyabhama appeared to him in the dream. Satyabhama was one of Krishna's queen. So she told him the dream that you should write a separate drama about me. Write a separate book about me. What happened was that Rupa Goswami, he had been writing a book which described the Leela of Krishna in Vrindavan and also in Dwarka and Mathura. He was describing, he had begun to write this book. But when he reached so he was writing this book as one book, but when he reached Satyabhamapur near Puri, Satyabhama appeared to him in the dream that you should write a separate drama about me. Write a separate book about me. So this was the instruction given by Satyabhama to Rupa Goswami. So, and then Rupa Goswami, he arrived in Puri. He met Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, stayed in the house in the kuti of Haridas Thakur. So, after being received by Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu gave instruction to Rupa Goswami. He gave him instruction. He said, Krishnera bayena he koreya braja hoite brajachadi Krishna kabus na yana karite. He said, do not try to take Krishna out of Vrindavan, for he does not go anywhere else at any time. This is Krishna's instruction to Rupa Goswami that in your writing, do not take Krishna out of Vrindavan, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And then Prabhu recited the verse from the Purana. He said, Krishna yo yadu sambuto ya puna so si ata paraha Vrindavana prityagya sakwachi naiva gachati. That Krishna, known as Yadukumar, is Vasudev Krishna. He is different from the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yadukumar Krishna manifests his pastimes in the cities of Mathura and Dwarka, but Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, never at any time leaves Vrindavan. So this is Mahaprabhu's instruction to Rupa Goswami that Krishna of Vrindavan is not the same as Krishna of Yadukumar, which is the Krishna of Mathura or Dwarka. So therefore, in your writing, you have to never take Krishna out of Vrindavan. So when Rupa Goswami heard this, and then he remembered his dream, which he had previously, that Satyabhama had told me, it instructed me in the dream that I should write a separate book about her. That which means I should not separate the Leelas of Vrindavan, that I should separate Vrindavan Leela and Dwarka Mathura Leela. So in his book, which was composed at that time, so Rupa Goswami, he had these two books called Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava. So these two books, Vidagdha Madhava, concern the activities of Vrindavan, and Lalita Madhava is by Krishna's activities in in Mathura or Dwarka. So now, how do you reconcile this thing that when Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami that never take Krishna out of Vrindavan, that Krishna is always in Vrindavan. So how do we reconcile this? Because we know that Krishna was out of Vrindavan, he was many things, he was speaking Bhagavad-Gita, many things like this. So actually, this was reconciled in the writing of this Lalita Madhava book. And Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī also in his book, the Uddhava Sandesh, it's a small book which was composed by Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī. And this Uddhava Sandesh also, Rupa Gosvāmī explained that yes, when Krishna apparently lived in Vrindavan, but he never really actually lived in Vrindavan. But he had to hide himself so that he can relish the feelings of separation that the gopis, Nanda Maharaj, which they are feeling for him. Of course, this is a very, very big topic because, in the first part of Bhagavad-Gita, whereby in Dwarka, Krishna as a king with so many, many coins. Krishna as king with so many, many coins, and at night, Krishna will always feel separation from Brijavasi, from the coins. Always feel separation from Brijabasis. So much so that Krishna's coin, they be feeling disturbed that what is it about this Brijavasi that Krishna is always talking about them, is always lamenting about them. What is it about them? So, anyway, I don't want to, it's a big topic. But the fact about Vrindavan Lila, that Krishna never lived Vrindavan, because there are two aspects of Krishna Lila, is Braj Lila. There is Prakata Lila, and there's Aprcchat Lila. In the Aprcchat Lila, that goes on eternally. Aprcchat means what is not manifest to us. Aprcchat Lila is not manifest to us. And that Aprcchat Lila, there is what we call a Ashtaka Lila, whereby Krishna performed his daily pastime, his 8 daily activities with his devotees, the Brijabasis, starting from early morning all the way to the late at night. This is called Ashtaka Lila. This is Aprcchat Lila, which goes on every day to Vrindavan. But the Prakata Lila, the manifest pastime before our eyes, is actually meant to teach us about the nature, about how we can develop love of Krishna, how we can develop Prem Bhakti, Aprcchat Lila, whereby when we when we read about these feelings of separation that Brijabasis are feeling, and how the Brijabasi, how they have to feel intense longing from Krishna. They have to call out to Krishna. Oh Krishna, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Krishna? It's a teaching to us that, yes, how do we get Krishna? How can we attain him? We can only attain Krishna only if we have intensity of calling out to Krishna. The intensity of crying out to Krishna. It's in that mood of crying out, of calling out to Krishna, of crying and shedding tears. It's in that intensity that can enable us to attract him. Bhakti-yoga, 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 jana. Bhakti-yoga, Krishna Masmana Kandana. That yes, how do we attain Prem Bhakti? How do we attain Bhakti? That's possible only if there's a cry for Krishna. Krandana means to cry, to shed tears. To shed tears. Like my Siksha Guru Maharaj, he used to say that, how can you get Krishna? How can you get him? You can't, unless you cry for him, you cannot get him. So this bhakti, it has 2 levels. One level is the meeting of Krishna. Another level is separation, the separation from him, whereby there's this crying out to Krishna. So when the Uddhava came, he was came, Nanda Maharaj was very, very happy, and then he received him. So the next verse, text 16. Okay, I'll just read through the text, and then because time is going. Okay. Kachidanga Mahabhaga. Okay. Kachi Anga Mahabhaga. Huh? Okay, 17. Okay, 17. Distya Kamso Hata Papa. Tanuga Srena Papmana. Sadunam Dhammashilanam. Yadunam Dvestiya Sada. Translation. Fortunately, because of his own sins, the sinful Kamsa has been killed along with all his brothers. He always hated the saintly and righteous Yadus. So essentially, even though Nanda Maharaj actually witnessed Krishna killing Kamsa, but it said here that Kamsa was actually killed by his own sinful activities. He was killed by nature, not that Krishna necessarily killed him, because Kamsa was very, very atrocious, very, very extremely sinful, always harassing the Brahmanas, the saintly personalities, the pious, the Yadu. So is the intensities of his sin actually kill him. Just like one time when one devotee, he had gone to Yamaraj, and because his guru told him to go and bring fire to perform fire sacrifice. So, and so this fellow, he thought that if you go to the planet of Yamaraj, and Yamaraj can give him some wood, so they can take the wood to his guru, because the wood you burn, you can do fire there. So when this devotee went to Yamaraj, he asked Yamaraj that I need some wood. I need some wood. So Yamaraj asked him that, what do you want to do with the wood? He said, well, my guru, he had asked me to go bring wood, and this is the only place I know there's wood here, because here, many persons who come here, they are being burned when they come to the hell, they are being burned with the wood. So therefore, I'm here to collect the wood. So Yamara asked him that, what makes you think that we have wood here? That yes, people are being burned in the hell, in the hellish fire, but what makes you think we have wood here to burn them? So this devotee asked Yamaraj, what do you mean? How do you burn people? How do you burn them if you don't have wood? So Yama replied, said that when people come here, they actually bring wood with them. They bring the wood with them, and they are being burned by the wood which they bring. Basically, people, by their own sinful activities, they are being consumed by their own sinful activities. It's not that we have wood here, the people come. The result of their sinful activities, they are being exterminated by that result. So, Nanda Maharaj is saying that Kamsa, he was eliminated by his own sin. Not necessarily that Krishna killed him. So we are consumed by our own sinful activities, by our own sinful reactions. We are consumed by that. So it's not that necessarily when we go to hell, Jamara is going to be there waiting with a bunch of wood in his hand. No, that's not the case. So this is the what Nanda Maharaj is saying. And then he said, Api smarana Krishna Mataram Sridhar Sakhim Gopam Brajan Tatmanatam Gavo Vrindavana Girin. Translation: does Krishna remember us? Does he remember his mother and his friends and well-wishers? Does he remember the cowherds and their village of Braja, of which he is the master? Does he remember the cows, Vrindavan forest, and Govardhan hill? This is very, very, there's been a lot of nice comments by other acharyas in this particular verse. How Nanda Maharaj, in his deep feelings of separation from Krishna, asking Uddhava, does Krishna remember us? Does he remember me? Does he remember his mother, his friends, the cows, the Vrindavan forest, the Govardhan hill? Does he remember all these things? Because these are the elements that give Krishna pleasure, that give Krishna joy. There's one nice, very beautiful book written by Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī in his Stava Valley collection. This is called Vrindavan Bilas Stava. And this book, every element of Vrindavan, Raghunath Goswami, he had offered prayers to every element of Vrindavan. Offered prayers to all the Gopas, to the Gopis, Purnamasi, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, all the Krishna's, Nanda Maharaj's brothers, Krishna's nurse, and then all the Vrindavans, like inanimate beings, the kondas, the lakes, the Govardhan hill, all of them, Bandiravan, all these different secret spots, Pavan Sarovara, all this. So Raghunath Goswami, he had composed these very beautiful prayers, offering prayer to every element and praying for them for our protection, praying for all the 12 of them that we've developed this love of Krishna. So Nanda Maharaj is asking Krishna, Uddhava, that does Krishna remember us? Does he remember all these persons? The cowherd boys, the cows, the Vrindavan forest, Govardhan hill. Like all these, they are not different from Krishna. They are not different from Krishna. Then he said, Apyayashan Govinda Sajana Sakidikshitun Taridikshayamana Tadvaktram Sunasa Susmitakshanam. Translation: will Govinda return even once to see his family? If he ever does, we may then glance upon his beautiful face, with his beautiful eyes, nose, and smile. Purport: now that Krishna had become a prince in the great city of Mathura, Nanda had lost hope that he will come back to live in the simple cowherd village of Vrindavan. But he hoped against hope that Krishna will come back at least once to visit the simple cowherd folk who had raised him from birth. So this is Nanda Maharaj's great yearning. But yes, even though Krishna may not want to come back to live here with us, because after all, he's a king, he's a prince, enjoying all the opulent life of being a prince in the city. But at least he can at least come and see us at least once, so they can have a glimpse of his eye, of his beautiful eyes. Can have a glimpse of it, and just by having a glimpse of his eyes, beautiful face, beautiful smiles, then this will give us immense satisfaction. This is the yearning that Nanda Maharaj was praying for. At least Krishna will come and let us see him at least once. So this is some of the points that we take time to describe this the great long and the great journey which Nanda Maharaj is feeling. And then we're going to go through so many years. Because each element, as making his inquiry to Uddhava, is feeling, Nanda Maharaj actually crying, his tears, so much tears coming from his eye, just thinking of his son Krishna. So, because the time is going, so we can stop here. Okay, time for prasadam. So, thank you very much. Anybody have any question? Hare Krishna, time is gone. Okay, yeah, I finished. Okay, okay, anyway. So, thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Granth Rasmi Bhagavatam ki, Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna.